This is Chef David Edelstein with Team Pitiful. Over the past year to 18 months, there has been a rash of unjustified police-related dog shootings that are in their, these dogs are in their own backyards and in their own homes. Detroit, Michigan, Riverside, California, Commerce City, Colorado, and Walworth, New York are just the beginning of the list of cities that police have responded to calls at the wrong address, held innocent people at gunpoint, while the family dog was murdered, or police were entering homes without warrants and killed family dogs for protecting its own. We've brought the camera here to Animal Law Center in Wheat Ridge, and we're going to speak with attorney-at-law Jennifer Edwards to get some insight of why these incidents are occurring and what dog owners can legally do to defend themselves, their families, and their pets. Why don't you come along with us? Jennifer, thanks for seeing us today. We know you have a very, very busy schedule and lots going on today, so we do appreciate your time. Dogs being shot by police for no other reason than the dog doing his job, barking and letting his owner know that somebody's outside or in our backyard or entering our home without permission. Just an epidemic going on. Is this something new, say over the past year or 18 months, or is it now just becoming an interest to the media?
Oh, I don't think it's either new or new as an interest to the media. I think that there are certain events that have taken place that have really made this go viral and really raised public awareness.
Can you point out a couple of those particular instances,
sure.
And maybe the high-profile cases?
I think most recently, and this is probably the most dynamic of them and the best example, is the Chloe incident, in which the police officers gave a statement on the Saturday that Chloe was shot, and then the following day a video was released by the neighbor across the street who had been filming the entire incident. Police were unaware of that and rendered their reports, gave their incident reports, and then the police department put out a statement that was contradictory to the video. And I think that really opened the public's eyes that perhaps officers, while many, many are great and there to serve and protect, also have a propensity to not tell the truth.
Very, very similar to the elk incident here in Boulder recently.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, obviously I don't know all of the evidence in that case, but it looks pretty suspect on what I do know. You know, two officers, both at different times, call off to be sick. One officer on duty claims first that the elk is aggressive, then claims the elk is injured, shoots the animal in someone's yard, and then the two officers struggle to get it onto, actually, and a third officer did show up. The three officers struggle to get this big animal, and let's not forget, it's a trophy animal. It's got a huge rack, and the officer is pictured with the animal as if it's his prize, his trophy, as if he's part of a Field and Stream magazine. That's not exactly the pose or stance that I think is professional or appropriate if you're simply there to put an animal out of its misery, to euthanize it because it's injured.
Okay. Your Honor, I was in fear for my safety. Is this type of defense holding up in court?
The Animal Law Center calls that the Cujo defense, where an officer shoots an animal and then that officer claims that that dog was vicious, was aggressive. They had no choice but to shoot that dog, and they did it to defend themselves. They were in fear for their life. And absolutely, that's the defense that's given. And it comes down to the reasonableness of the officer, what the officer was thinking at the time.
Okay. What sort of legal stance can a dog owner take should this atrocity come to their home?
You know, there are several steps that you have to take. First of all, that dog is yours. That is your property. You know, a lot of us don't like to say that a dog is our property. They're members of our family. However, that dog does belong to you, and you have got to preserve that evidence. As emotional as it may be, you've got to make sure that dog is preserved, put in a freezer, make sure it's not disturbed in any way, shape, or form. If you live in Colorado, get the animal up to CSU to have a necropsy performed. There are certain measures that have to be taken. Get a forensic vet involved, get a pathologist involved, a veterinary pathologist involved that's used to doing necropsies. Get a medical examiner, even if it's a human medical examiner. They have a lot of experience in gunshot wounds. Get a cast of characters as experts. And yes, it costs a little more, but it absolutely pays off 10 times over to have the right experts on hand when you do these necropsies. They are very, very telling. They can tell the distance, the trajectory of the shooting, a lot of other evidence. And that's something that you can't ever replace. Also, if the officers are on the scene, tell them you want the scene preserved. You want an investigation of that scene. Do not let the fire department, for instance, come on and do a washdown of the scene. That happens far too frequently. Do not let evidence get disrupted. If the police officers, and they often do not, do a proper investigation, do your own. Take pictures, take measurements, where your dog's body is, from where the officer was standing. Take, all of the distances. Take pictures. What was the backdrop of where the dog was shot? Do your own investigation. Do your own analysis. Do as much as you can. Pictures, pictures, and more pictures. And finally, if you see this happening to someone or it's happening to you, grab a video camera. Many of us have them already equipped in our cell phones. Take video, take pictures, gather any evidence while it's going on, after it's happened. Evidence, evidence, and more evidence.
Okay. Specific to the Chloe incidents here in Commerce City, the Colorado Fraternal Order of Police Officers is now standing up in Officer Price's defense. Mm-hmm. What's going on with that? Why is it going on? Why all of a sudden, where were they a month and a half, 2 months ago when the incident occurred? Why is this now coming up now?
Well, this is common and not surprising that a union will stand behind the people that they represent. And they do, as a matter of fact, they're very strong in standing behind their brothers and sisters, their fellow officers. It doesn't come as a surprise. Why they're coming forward now, and it's only speculation, is that next week is Officer Price's advisement, so they're calling for support. They're also calling for some expert witnesses. They're calling for a lot of things. I think they're calling out to the community. Frankly, some of the things that they have put out, I think, are diversion tactics. I think they're kind of using a smoke and mirrors technique to divert attention from what really happened here. And that was something wrongful by an officer. It was an act that should not have happened. He's been charged with a felony crime, and now they are trying to deflect and blame others, like the media, and saying this was a media, the media sensationalized this, and that's why he was charged. No. There was evidence. There were facts. The district attorney did not charge Officer Price because of public pressure or because the media sensationalized it. He charged Officer Price because of facts and evidence.
Okay. Doubling back on, we were talking about forensic experts and people that can testify and lend weight to a case like this. This costs a lot of money. And a lot of these plaintiffs don't have that kind of funding. Is Animal Law Center ramping up for any sort of fundraiser or helping put together funds for these clients?
Absolutely. We have a whole system in place now where we set up a website and we start to collect donations from the onset of the case. I mean, it's unbelievable the public support that's out there to help you fund these cases. You definitely need good legal representation no matter where you are. Find it.
Okay.
And hopefully you have the public support to be able to raise the funds, to be able to help pay for legal support, to help pay for the legal costs, to help pay for the experts, the expenses.
Okay. Should someone fall on terrible times and their dog has been destroyed by police, how can they contact Animal Law Center?
They can visit us on our website, www.theanimallawcenter.com, all the words, all the letters. We have a 1-800 number, 1-877-PET-LAW-1, or our local numbers 303-322-4355. And you can also visit us on Facebook at The Animal Law Center.
Well, there you go, folks. There you have it. This atrocity can come to any one of our cities or towns, to our homes, to our families. We all need to get involved. We need to work with our local police departments, animal control, and legislators in creating communities that are safe for all of us, our families, including our four-legged family members. See you guys again.